So, welcome everyone. I'm truly grateful to have this session today. It's a courageous topic. Topic is cultivating inner compassion, which is healing, self-bullying, shame, guilt, loneliness, and derealization. So, before we begin, let's be into a brief meditation so that we can ground ourselves in the present moment. And in this meditation, I actually also incorporate something from polyvagal theory, which helps us to better understand the connection between nervous system and our emotions. And the idea is to bring in some inner resource that we can create a safe space so that you can be more receptive in your journey and of self-compassion today. Okay. So see if you can just settle in, be comfortable. And let's begin by taking a few deep breaths together. So inhale through your nose, filling your chest and belly, and then exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing any tension or distractions. So again, breathe in from your nose, fill up your belly and your chest, and then breathe out slowly, releasing any tension or distraction. One more time. Now, as we embark on this journey, I want to invite you to place one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. One on your heart area and one on your belly area. And let this gentle touch be a reminder of the comforting presence we have within ourselves, a source of compassion and understanding. Stay with this for a few moments. Now let's bring our attention to sensation in our body. Notice any tension or discomfort that you feel in your body. And visualize each breath soothing those places like warm, compassionate embrace. So notice any tension or discomfort and visualize your breath bringing compassion and embrace. As we dive deeper into the topic of self-compassion and healing, remember you're not alone. We are all experiencing moments of self-criticism, shame, and loneliness. However, when we acknowledge and embrace these emotions, we can bring strength to cultivate inner compassion. So see if you can acknowledge and embrace those emotions. Within each of us lies a wellspring of kindness and understanding. We have a reservoir of self-compassion waiting to be tapped. And throughout this session, we will try and explore pathways to access this well of self-compassion and extend the compassion to our vulnerable parts from a place of curiosity and care. As we continue, know that it is okay to feel a range of emotions and sensation throughout the session. Embrace them with openness and gentleness. just as you would support a dear friend in need. Now let us take a final deep breath together, honoring the strength and resilience within each of us. Inhale deeply, filling your body with compassion, and exhale, releasing any remaining tension. And as you open your eyes, move forward in the session. Let's hold an intention of cultivating this inner compassion, not just for ourselves, but all others that are present here today, or that will be listening to this later. Remember, this is a safe place for exploration and growth. Now let's embark on our journey today. And so we will start by giving meaning to those emotions, and then go deeper into understanding self-bullying, the connected emotions, and then we'll get into inner compassion. And then we'll get into steps that you can do to heal yourself. And we will prepare for the meditation so you can be ready to find something that you would like to work on today. And we'll start with the Somatic IFS session that will be followed with the sound healing session afterwards, all of them towards the same objective. And then we'll open at the end of the hour for Q&A for any further individual needs. So let's get into the definition of these emotions. So self-bullying refers to this negative self-talk and self-criticism that we as individuals engage in very often. They often lead into feelings of inadequacy and low self-worth. And it can be closely linked to feeling of shame and guilt. Now, shame is a powerful emotion that arises from a belief that there is something wrong within me or I'm not worthy. And it can be triggered from past experiences, from social expectations, especially from our parents, from our teachers, from our loved ones. And it can also fuel self-bullying and self-criticism. Now, guilt, on the other hand, is a feeling of remorse or regret from some past action or behavior that were perceived wrong or harmful to oneself or others. And it can relate to feeling of shame if it becomes internalized, as if I am a bad person. Loneliness can be a result of self-bullying, shame, and guilt, as these emotions can create a sense of disconnection from the others as a way to prevent individuals from forming meaningful connections. So it's a protection mechanism. And derealization is basically a dissociative experience where individuals feel that they are disconnected from the external world, from the surroundings, or from reality. And normally it's a coping mechanism so that you can deal with these overwhelming emotions like shame, guilt, and loneliness. So let's begin to see how these emotions relate to each other. And from the research that I did and from my personal experience, self-bullying is understanding it and going deeper into it can be a good way to bring some change in our session today. So let's get into self-bullying. Now, self-bullying is something like you would notice this happens when you engage in a negative self-talk, especially self-criticism, where you are berating yourself for perceived shortcomings or mistakes. For example, you may catch yourself thinking, I'm a failure, I'm always mess up things, I'm not good enough. So these are some of the inner wording that we do ourselves. So that's what we call self-bullying. Now, what is the impact of self-bullying? It can have a big emotional toll, leading to increased feeling of shame, guilt, and loneliness. When you continue to do this to yourself, it actually reinforces the negative belief about yourself, potentially leading to this cycle of self-destructive behaviors. For example, constant self-criticism triggers shame, feeling of shame, causing you to withdraw from the social interactions and as a result experience loneliness. Now you might notice that shame, guilt, loneliness, derealization are all interconnected and tend to coexist, influencing each other. Now, by recognizing these emotions, connections, you can begin to address root cause of their distress. For example, feeling of shame might give rise to feeling of guilt, leading you to self-isolate, which in turn increases the feeling of loneliness and even a sense of detachment from reality or derealization. Now, what we need to do, and this is what we are going to do in this session, is take time to identify some of the triggers. So I send you 3 questions. One of the first question was, what are the triggers that are there for you that can lead to self-bullying and then the challenging emotions for you? Becoming aware of these patterns empowers you to respond differently, which is what we are going to do today. Try to do that and try to understand from a place of self-compassion. For example, you may find yourself receiving constructive feedback at work or from your partner, and actually what is triggering is a self-bullying thoughts like I'm a failure, or feeling guilty about perceived shortcomings. So by understanding and addressing self-bullying and challenging emotions, one can start to cultivate greater emotional resilience, and we can tend to break free from this continuous cycle of these emotions and change something within us. So let's get into the importance of inner compassion. So in moments of self-doubt or difficulty, acknowledging your inner critic and its harsh judgment is crucial. Instead of suppressing these feelings, approaching them from understanding and curiosity, treating yourself as a dear friend. So this is what we would do in the session, is that we ask you to be curious. So instead of feeling the way that you can feel with guilt, shame, etc., see if you can approach it from a place of curiosity, so that you recognize, you don't suppress it, bring it up and recognize it and address it from a very different perspective. We will also practice self-kindness, and that's what we do when we ask, let's be compassionate to yourself. So by nurturing self-compassion, you create a supportive environment that encourages growth and resilience. So this is what starts to change something within you. And of course, what is also important is to cultivate this inner compassion, because that helps you to break free from the negative patterns of self-destructive behaviors. As you offer yourself self-compassion, you begin to challenge some of the limiting beliefs and replace them with more empowering and constructive perspective. This is core of IFS. That's what we are going to do today, is to see if we can see the other perspective instead of seeing it from a limited emotions or emotions like fear, anger, or in this case, shame, guilt. And the last point is about embracing imperfection. And this is the key to the whole story, because understanding that imperfections are part of human being and accepting them with compassion is essential for the self-growth. Now, when you start to embrace your vulnerability, knowing that you do not define your worth and that those limited emotions do not define your worth, and allow yourself space to look at it from a different perspective, from a place of self-compassion, you start to create different meaning. So instead of berating yourself for a mistake at work, if you practice inner compassion by acknowledging that everyone makes error and seeing it as an opportunity to learn and improve, now you're changing perspective. when feeling lonely or disconnected, offer yourself self-kindness by reminding yourself that it's okay to experience these emotions and reach out for support. You are here. It's a good example of self-compassion. Just by walking into the session, you are you are actually giving an example to yourself that this is a place of that I am being self-compassionate. I'm willing to go in and work on myself. So a few steps, and these are classical how I do. It's kind of repeating what I just said, which is how do you do that when you are dealing with those emotions? So you become aware. And I think one of the things that we do in this session is self-awareness. That's why one of our first question was become aware of your emotions around that. Okay. And then, of course, practicing mindfulness. We are going to do some practice today, okay, which is around mindfulness. And in the process, start to embrace your imperfection, understanding that imperfections are part of human being, and accepting the vulnerabilities. It actually opens doors, because then it leads to self-kindness. It leads to a different kind of dialogue that you have with yourself, okay, which then changes from a negative belief to something which you can do for yourself, okay, which is expansion. And then absolutely self-care, seeking support, being here is exactly part of that. But you should take any self-care support that you could do with professionals or working on yourself. So it's absolutely perfect. Being here is an example of self-care. So let's get into the process. So there are actually I asked you 3 questions, but let's focus on these 2. Now consider yourself and recall instances of self-criticism or being hard on yourself. What are those common self-critical thoughts? And see if you can look at your day, your past week, and just notice what are the most common self-critical thoughts that you do to yourself. And of course, the emotion that comes in and that impact you. But most important is, what are those common self-critical thoughts? And if you can also bring in recent experiences of shame, guilt, loneliness, and derealization. And if you have triggers, it's good to know. But just see if you can connect to these 2 for yourself. And choose one aspect that you would like to work on. And you can always come back to this from this point on to run this session again and again. Okay, so let's begin. Just find your comfortable place. You're already in there. And make sure your body is in a position that allows you to feel relaxed and easy. Just gently close your eyes. To begin, focus on your breath, drawing in slowly, deep breath through your nose, filling your lungs and belly entirely, and then exhaling from your mouth, letting go any tension or worry. Let's do this a couple of times. And see if you can be setting an intention of grounding your mind, your body in the present moment. Now we are going to establish your safe anchor. Think of a place, a person, a memory, or even a color that makes you a sense of calm, safety, and well-being. Think of a place, a person, a memory, or a color that gives you a sense of calm, safety, and well-being. This is your safe anchor, a place you can return to whenever you feel need for reassurance and grounding. By doing this, we are tapping into the vagal ventral state, the most evolved part of our nervous system. It enables a feeling of safety and social connection. Stay with your safe anchor for a few seconds. Now, with your safe anchor in mind, gently shift your attention to the issue you chose to bring into the session related to self-bullying, shame, guilt, loneliness, or derealization. And as you focus here, observe any sensations, emotions, or thoughts that surface. As your awareness deepens, welcome the part of you that carries the wounds. These wounds could be of an inner child, it could be a protective part, or any another aspect of you. Gently acknowledge this part, inviting into the safety of your safe anchor space. Now, move your attention to the physical sensation that could be linked to this part. Notice any tightness, discomfort, or other feelings arising in your body when you are engaging with this part. Or you may see some images. Focus your attention there. Now direct your breath towards this physical area of your body where you feel the tightness or tension, and just breathe into those sensations, allowing each exhalation to create a space for relaxation and release. So breathe in into that area, and as you breathe out from your mouth, you exhale and you create a space of relaxation and release. Keep breathing, and on every exhale, send a soothing sound. You can try sound like ah, oh, and observe how the part responds to that. So breathe in, and when you breathe out, you make the sound. As this part reveals itself, visualize extending compassion and curiosity towards it. Just see if you can extend compassion and curiosity towards this area where you have the sensation. Now ask a question to this area, sensation. What is your intention that you hold? What is your intention? And see what you get as a response. Now ask it, what are you afraid would happen to me? And see what you get as a response. You're asking, share with me your fears. And now ask it, what needs to happen for it to feel secure, understood, and supported? What needs to happen for it to feel secure, understood, and supported? And see what you get as a response. See if you can acknowledge what you hear and extend compassion towards this part. Also, see if you can find a somatic resource, a place in your body that feels grounded, strong, or calm, or a sound that brings you comfort. So see if you can find this somatic resource. And as you connect with this somatic resource, envision extending its support to this part of you that is holding the challenging emotions, the physical sensation or the image. This might manifest as a warm, soothing light or a comforting sound or embrace. Allow the part to receive this support and start releasing any tension, discomfort it has been holding. Continue to send this warm, soothing light or comforting sound or embrace from the somatic resource into this part. Allow it to process and release emotions or memories related to the challenging emotions. And if any additional parts emerge during this process, acknowledge them and extend the same compassionate support to them. Continue to breathe and send comforting sound or light or warmth to this part. As you sense the part beginning to relax and integrate, thank it for its openness to engage in this healing process. Acknowledge the courage and resilience it has shown in carrying these emotions and express your gratitude for its role in your life. Now take a moment to share within you your vision of life. What do you want for you? And do it from a place of compassion and love for yourself. So share your vision with all parts within you. Thank you, everyone. Every part of you came in. And let them know we will continue with the process. And when it feels ready for you, start to come back and take a moment to reflect and be back here. And we are going to prepare for the sound healing. If you haven't been here before, just to give you an idea about the process. So what we do in sound healing is we work with tuning forks, okay, and use them as a way to find and clear any, let's say, obstructions in your biofield. So basically we go up to 6 feet on the two sides of your body and find and release. And the way to do is to run a tuning fork through it, okay? But before we do, we open two centers below the feet and on top of your head. So that's what I will start with. And then based on, and I'm going to ask you to think about a wish. Actually, it's linked to what you just said about your vision of life. But think about a wish that you would like for yourself, which plays a big part in what comes to be cleared in a tuning fork session. So we will start below the feet, top of the head, and then I will run a pendulum through the different, what is called energy centers or chakras, or whatever you want to call them. And wherever it comes up to be released, I will tell you. But basically I'm running on your, let's say, on your throat center. And then it can go left or right or both, sometimes depends. And I will let you know what emotions or what elements this represents for you. And I will start from your time of being conceived, so your mother's womb, and we'll go through life till the present moment. And wherever I find something, I will let you know. You are 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 14 years old, whatever. And most of the time it also lets you know the kind of emotion. So see if it makes sense for you. If it does, just bring it up into your consciousness, and that's it. And then we'll use a tuning fork to release it. Now there's a breathing that happens. It's a little bit similar to what we have been doing, but it's much more forceful. So the breathing is you take a strong breath in, and then you breathe out, and it's strong, okay? So you'll breathe strongly. Now you don't have to breathe all the time. I will tell you when to do, otherwise you'll hyperventilate, okay? So I will tell you, breathe, and you do the breath. Sometime, if it is too strong, you can also release with a sound, which is something like, and it becomes a release, okay? So we are going to do that. Let's go, okay? So just take a moment to think about your wish. Be comfortable. Just make sure your back is supported. And remember, if you had chemotherapy or head injury, you should lower your volume. or not be here. Okay, so think about a wish that you want, and we start. So I'm going to start below your feet, open that center, and then go to top of the head. So I'm just below your feet. Take a breath. I'm pointing tuning fork below your feet so that open the channel to the backbone to the top of your head. So we're opening all the channels up. Take another breath, deep one. So a lot of identity issue, third center stuck. So just take a deep breath in and release again. Focused on your third center, which is solar plexus. Okay. So I'm now going to ground you, connect you to Mother Earth. Take a deep breath. Okay, so we are going to go to the top of the head. Same. Here we are making connection between the heaven and you. And now I'm pointing to the top of your head so that the sound goes through the backbone into Mother Earth, opening that channel. Take a breath. Okay, better. Take a breath. And you're connecting all the centers. Okay, so now I'm going to run tuning fork, or the pendulum, to know which center to work based on what you wish. It will take me a few seconds. I'm on your root, sacral, solar plexus, no, heart, okay, yeah, it wants to work on the heart. Okay, left side, we'll come back on that. Yeah, so wants to work on the heart, left side. We've been there before, if people have been here before. This is to do with sadness, grief, loss, depression. Okay, and the topic today is irrelevant, so we are going there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the place of your being in mother's womb at the time of your conceiving, and then I will come back to the present moment. Every time I find something, I'll let you know the age. And if there's an emotion attached to that, I will also let you know. Here we go. I'm using a different tuning fork, 144 Hertz. Yeah, immediately. So I'm at the time of your conception. Yeah, there's a lot of shooting pain in the heart, so sadness, grief, sadness, more sadness. See if that makes sense. So just take a breath. And if you have to make noise, release, do that as well. Yeah. So it moves from sadness to more fear. Anxiousness, anxiety. Take a breath. Well, this could be something felt by the mother. Okay, whatever it was, got released. Oh, yeah. Very quickly, 2 months into pregnancy. Take a deep breath. Release. Okay, I'm switching to another tuning fork. You will not hear it, but it's to release. You take a breath. Whatever comes up, you can release by breathing or making noise. I'm just releasing in the field. Okay, got released. So 2 months before your birth. Yeah, it's a mixture of who am I, identity with sadness. It's in the solar plexus and to move towards the heart. So just breathe. Okay, so released. We are now at your birth. Now see if you can send love to the little one which has just been born, to the mother, And all the stuff which was around you. Just send love to them. Take a breath. Breathe out, send love to them. Sending love to the little one, to your mother, to stuff which is around you. The nurses, the doctors, whoever. Family. Even though there is a fear, just send love to them. Especially to the little one. There you go. Released. Yeah, 2-year-old. It's sad, but it feels not supported, not understood, or not even recognized, even not wanted. Yeah, being left out. So take a breath. You want to release some sound, do that. There's a lot going on there. I'm going to use the other tuning fork to release. You continue to breathe. Yeah, it's holding a lot there. Send love to the little one. Whatever is coming up, see if you can continue to release through sound, through breath. Okay, so released. So he's saying 15-year-old. Whatever comes up. Moved on. He's talking about a 28-year-old. 27, 28. See if you can breathe into that. Make a sound. Okay. Released, moved on. It's coming to about 10 years ago. So 2013. upper back not supported, and feeling very lonely and sad. Release. Breath. And see if you can send love to your mother for what she went through in her life, which may indirectly or directly impact you. But you're focusing on what she could have gone through when she was young in her life, and sending love for that, compassion. Even acknowledging for her that she went through difficult time. Take a breath. Now, whatever we have come up with, we are going to release it out. Take a breath. Let it go. Take a breath. So we'll close the system so that it continues to process for next 48 hours. Take a breath. And surround you with the 528 hertz. As we draw our session to a close today, I invite you to stay in this comfortable position and reflect on our time together. Recognize the courage it takes to explore this inner landscape. You have come in here, send gratitude to each part of you. In moments of self-doubt or distress that may arise after this session, remember the power of self-compassion. When your inner critic raises a voice, extend kind and understanding hand to yourself, just as if you would do to a friend of yours in need. Embrace the truth that you are deserving of self-love and acceptance. regardless of any perceived imperfections. You're worthy of your own compassion, and that compassion can become a guiding light on your path of healing and growth. Be patient with yourself and celebrate any progress you may do in the steps you take. Take a moment to offer gratitude for this commitment of emotional well-being and healing. Whenever you're ready, gently begin to open your eyes, carrying the warmth of inner compassion with you as you return to your real world. Know that you can always tap into this wellspring of compassion within yourself whenever you need. Thank you for being here. Remember that we are all together in this journey, supporting each other. May the seed of self-compassion that we have sown today continue to grow and blossom. Take a deep breath in and out, and gently transition back into this world. Thank you.